What is going on? This is just simply not good enough by West Ham United. On Saturday, we got the Championship Player of the Season in Somerville. On Monday, we got the German international striker Niklas Füllkrug. And yesterday, we got Rodriguez, who's won the World Cup and Copa America with Argentina. Where is our Wednesday signing? All morning, I've been waiting for an announcement. I've got used to them. I've got used to being spoilt. Where is the Wednesday signing? It's not good enough by West Ham. And what is Tim Steidten doing? Now, all jokes aside, that's what we're going to discuss though. What is Tim Steidten doing in regards to the pursuit of Wan-Bissaka? Because it's been going on for quite some time now. However, I'm going to summarise in the next minute before I actually discuss it. A little bit unusual. I feel it's important after that introduction. I'm feeling good. I thought we could have a bit of fun on Wednesday. But my summary is, I am perfectly calm. I remain quite confident we will eventually sign Wan-Bissaka. However, I'm even more confident that if it isn't Wan-Bissaka, we will sign an adequate right back to displace Vladimir Coufal in the starting 11. It may be in time for Aston Villa. Hopefully it will be. Ideally it will be. But come our first match in September, I'm confident that we will have a really good right back signed. And as a result of that confidence, I am calm. Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm just confident, as well as giving you an update on the latest regarding Wan-Bissaka, although not much has changed in the last couple of days. Now, before I do that, please do subscribe. New to Hammer's Chat, closing in on that 40,000. We might not have a right back before Aston Villa, but if we could have our 40,000 subscriber before then, that would be lovely. And if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it by clicking the thumbs up button. Both things are free and takes a handful of seconds. Now, the latest with Wan-Bissaka, as I said, it hasn't changed too much, and it's a bit of an awkward situation for all involved, really. It's a bit of an awkward situation for Man United, for Bayern Munich, for Wan-Bissaka, for Dumfries, for West Ham. Everybody's sort of waiting to see what everybody else is doing. So this is the landscape as it stands today. Man United want to sign Mazraoui from Bayern Munich. They're trying to get him in as well as Steidten. They're trying to do a bit of a double transfer with Bayern Munich. That's who they want as the right back. But they cannot do that deal until Wan-Bissaka leaves. So Man United's priority is to sell Wan-Bissaka to West Ham. Now, we want to sign Wan-Bissaka. That's not an issue. The problem is Wan-Bissaka's owed money by Man United. Obviously, Man United aren't keen on giving it to him out of the fee they receive, so they want to add it on to the fee they receive from West Ham. And it's supposedly a substantial amount of money, about £3 million, that Wan-Bissaka will be due in loyalty bonuses. Now, this is important. Wan-Bissaka hasn't requested to leave. This isn't a Duran Aston Villa situation here. In fact, it's a bit more like West Ham and Kurt Zouma, which is Man U want to offload Wan-Bissaka, so he's entitled to a loyalty payment and he wants it. I have no issue with that whatsoever, especially when you consider next summer he'd be free and he would be able to get himself quite a hefty sign-on fee from somewhere. If clubs like West Ham are willing to pay 13 to 18 million for him now, there's no reason next summer Wan-Bissaka couldn't be getting an 8 to 10 million signing on fee. So he could really cash in 12 months' time. So it's got to be worth his while to move today instead of next summer. And I think that loyalty bonus is quite key. You're already asking him to give up on that significant sign-on fee, to ask him to waive the loyalty bonus as well. I think that's quite a lot. Now, I appreciate he's well paid, he's not poor, but it's still a significant amount of money. And footballers tend to, some footballers anyway, certainly tend to do good with their money, whether it's helping out their family, their friends, charity causes as well. So it's not all just for him, and perhaps it will get displaced to other people as well. People will benefit from Wan-Bissaka. So I have no issue with him holding out for the money he's owed by Man United. To some extent, I understand why Man U are a little bit reluctant. 15 million, happy days, and Wan-Bissaka saying, well, I'm having 3 of that, suddenly it's 12 million. So that's the situation between West Ham and Man U. The problem is Wan-Bissaka would prefer to go to Inter Milan, reportedly. But the issue is Inter Milan don't want to buy him. They want to do a swap deal involving Dumfries, because Dumfries has not signed a new contract with Inter Milan and he's keeping his options open. And he's supposedly open to going to Man United. So Inter are willing to do the swap deal. Wan-Bissaka wants to go to Inter Milan. But Man United don't want to do the swap deal because they'd rather have Mazraoui and not Dumfries. Anyway, that's the latest on Wan-Bissaka. The big hitters, Fabrizio Romano earlier today saying it's not that far between West Ham and Man U, and I believe that, and they're saying personal terms aren't expected to be an issue. Again, I don't disbelieve that. I remain confident we will sign Wan-Bissaka, but this is why I'm confident. Even if we don't, I'm more than happy and I have confidence in Tim Steidten. I would expect we've already got another right back. I would not be surprised. In fact, I'd be surprised if we didn't already have another right back lined up and we're already in negotiations with that club and that player already, because there's evidence this summer that we are good at dealing with our transfers but also ruthless with dealing with our transfers, and we're going to go through some of them. Max Kilman. Now I feel like we overpaid, but forget that for 1 second and go with the reporting here. I recall this very, very well because I was doing a video with Gonzo, Nick and Mark at the time, and the latest was we've just bid for Max Kilman. We've made a 40 million bid. Literally 20 minutes later, at the end of that discussion, the news was it's accepted, he's agreed personal terms, he's on his way for his medical. So the last bid of Kilman, when we heard about it, within a couple of hours the news was he's having his medical. There's no way that happened. That bid would have been in a day, 2 days before, but nobody knew. The first sniff of it we got from the media, he was already en route for a medical. That also happened with Flynn Downs. There was no talk of an £18 million bid being accepted. Suddenly, it's accepted. He's left Austria. He's on his way to Southampton. He's away to have his medical. So the first time we knew about it, the media have been 2 steps behind Tim Steidten all summer pretty much. Moving on to Füllkrug. Now this one's a little bit different because there was sort of speculation regarding Füllkrug, but it was also some talk of it was a ploy to try and get Aston Villa to sell us Julen. But again, it happened very, very quickly. It was West Ham are interested in, suddenly he's on his way for a medical. The deal's done. He's on his way for his medical. There's no way that we agreed terms with Dortmund and Füllkrug in 24 hours. It would have taken a couple of days. So while actually we thought Füllkrug was a smokescreen for Julen, I think it might have been the other way around towards the end of the deal, where the whole Julen talk was actually a smokescreen as we'd moved on from him and we were going after Niklas Füllkrug, and we got that deal done quickly. But the 2 more impressive ones for me were Somerville and Rodriguez. Let's start with Rodriguez. Monday afternoon, Varsky Sports put up, he's agreed a deal with West Ham. No in talks, interested, none of that stuff. Just bang, he's agreed a deal. Medical tomorrow. Turns out it was accurate. He just had to wait for the private jet to go collect him, that was all. But the first time we heard about Rodriguez joining West Ham, it had already been done. The deal had been agreed between the player and West Ham United. It was just a case of getting him on that private plane. But Somerville, and this is possibly the most impressive one, we had been linked to Somerville for a little period of time now. But the rumours were always West Ham are interested in, that's our winger now. We were wanting Wesley, then there was another winger we were after, I can't recall who. Then it was Somerville's our main winger. But actually all this time, all this talk, now we've discovered that there was an exit clause in his contract at Leeds United, which meant if a club was playing in the knockout stages of European football and they inquired for Somerville, he and his team, his agents, had to be notified of it. And this happened months ago. We were in the Europa League when this happened. So we're going back to April time here that we first approached Leeds United for Somerville. 3-4 months ago we started dealing with Leeds United for Somerville. That was nowhere. Nobody reported that. You can understand why West Ham want it kept under wraps, but you can also understand why Leeds United want it kept under wraps, because the last thing they want is every club bidding for a player that they wanted to keep a hold of. The clause was, we know the clause, and then apparently there was a gentleman's agreement between Somerville and Leeds, which is if you get promoted, I'll stick with you in the Premier League. However, if we do not go up, then I'd like a move sanctioned. Now we don't know the overall fee that's being kept well, there's a rumour going around that it's 26 million. We don't know because there's a non-disclosure agreement between West Ham and Leeds because of that exit clause. And Leeds United fans are reluctant to believe this. There's another, is that you've just sold in cheap and you don't want to tell us. But regardless of which is true, we started negotiating with Leeds and Somerville before last season had even ended. David Moyes was still the manager. We were stealthy with this Somerville thing, and I absolutely love it. And that's why I'm confident that we will be working on another right back, or the Wan-Bissaka one is likely to get done. Because all these deals, although, as I joked at the start, Rodriguez was announced yesterday, Füllkrug was announced on Monday, they were signed on Sunday probably. They just had to do the media work. Tim Steidten's job was done by Saturday, Sunday. He was done with those. He'd got the players in. They've agreed the deal. The contracts are signed. They just need to do the medicals, then the media work. That stuff's got nothing to do with Tim Steidten. He just has to awkwardly hold a shirt with the player. It is a bit weird though, isn't it? The way Tim Steidten holds shirts, it's a bit... like, it's almost like, I don't know, he's disgusted to hold it to some extent. It's like picking up a dirty t-shirt. Oh, hang on, oh, yeah, I don't want to hold that. There you are. It's a clean t-shirt. It's fine. Just grab a hold of it. Just holds it strange. Anyway, my point is, Tim Steidten's business with Somerville, Füllkrug and Rodriguez would have been finished up at the weekend. Monday, Tuesday, now into Wednesday, he wouldn't have been dealing with those players. He would have moved on to the next transfer target. And I think it's fair to assume that it's a case of all in on the right back now, with a little bit of focus on the centre back, but it's a domino effect. We need Kurt Zouma off the books now. It sounds like he's going to go. We've accepted a bid from Dubai. I got this wrong yesterday. I thought it was Saudi. It was incorrect. It's actually a club in Dubai that we've accepted an offer for. It's a free transfer. There's no fee involved. Because his wages are so hefty, it's hoped that because there's no transfer fee, the buying club will be able to afford Kurt Zouma's wages and we can just get him off the books. I'd imagine West Ham's priority this week is to get the right back in and to get Kurt Zouma off the books and to start proceeds regarding which centre-back we're going to bring in to replace Kurt Zouma. Now, the talk is that funds are low presently. I believe that we've spent about 110 million or something. They're going to be running a little bit low prior to any major departures. Now we've raised a bit of money, you know, replacing 18 million Flynn Downs with a free Rodriguez is very smart business, I think. So we've had some money coming in, but I think once we've spent on a right back, we're going to have to get a bit creative, and this is where loans with obligations are going to come in, so we can just use next summer's budget on the player. I think it makes sense. I'm excited by the window so far. I'm excited to see what happens with the rest of the transfer window, because I think we'll still buy one or two more players. I think one or two may leave as well. At the minute, we've got one space left in the squad, the 25-man squad that we have to register. We've got one vacancy, so if Wan-Bissaka comes in, it's filled up. And yes, you can bring in other players and just don't register someone else, but that's unlikely. What is the likelihood of us bringing in Duran and not registering Danny Ings and paying him whatever we pay him, reportedly 125 grand a week, to play under 21s football for the season, or pay him 125 grand a week to go on loan somewhere else? That feels unlikely at this moment. I think it will be a case of Wan-Bissaka in, and then it's a one out, one in policy. Kurt Zouma out, centre back in. We need another striker. Ings is going to have to go first. Maybe Maxwell Cornet will be the one to go to free up space if we do that. So I'm quite excited, but more importantly, I'm quite confident. I've been calm all transfer window. As you guys that tune in regular will know, I've been calm all window. So much so, it lost us a patron. It was a kind email. He wasn't nasty. He just emailed to say, I've ended my patron because you're too calm about the transfer window. That was literally his words. So he was obviously getting a bit pissed off with stuff. This was it was literally the day before Consensi Somerville as well. So after that email came, in the next 4 days we signed 3 players. The temptation to reply sarcastically was quite high, but I was nice. I said, I understand, I don't really, but sure. I have been calm all transfer window. it hasn't changed, and I'm excited to see who we bring in, whether that's Wan-Bissaka or a different right back. I'm just confident. I like it. I like what the club have done. I like what Tim Steidten's done. I like the fact that Lopetegui has been involved to some extent, but not completely. The balance of who picks the players. We've always had this debate, haven't we? Who's decided to buy that player? It's always been a thing. I imagine most clubs do it as well. I think this summer it's quite... I think it feels easy to call that Guilherme was Steidten, that Kilman was Lopetegui, that Füllkrug was Lopetegui, that Rodriguez was Steidten. Now I say Füllkrug's Lopetegui, that's a report. Steidten obviously knows Lopetegui. Steidten knows Füllkrug well. They go back to Füllkrug's youth days, as we've covered on another video. Maybe that was a Steidten one, but apparently Lopetegui really wanted him. But it just feels quite balanced between Lopetegui and Steidten, but also between bringing in younger players but experienced players. I've just been impressed so far. Still a little bit to do, but once we've got that right back in, I think it becomes the centre back becomes a priority, and then it's tweaking, looking for opportunities. Who else can we bring in? Is there anyone we can offload? And I'm really looking forward to it, actually. So Wan-Bissaka, I hope he joins. I think he will. But if not, so what? Tim Steidten will sort it. Hopefully. I got carried away and forgot to do my ending. If you've enjoyed the video, please do drop a like on it and subscribe if you'd Hammers Chat. I'll catch you tomorrow.